This is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, with the anatomy of a wholesale real estate deal flyer. Now, this is going to be a very important video because it's going to take you step by step what I like to call the high converting elements of your real estate deal flyer. I like to think of it as a meal, or should I say a 3-course meal. You have the appetizer, you have the entree, but last but not least, you have the dessert. So that's how I want you to think about your actual flyer, as if this was a 3-course meal. And let's go through each section. Okay, section number 1 we call the appetizer. In this section, you're going to have your actual company name or logo. You're going to also have the property address, or should I say the 100 block of the property address. If this is a wholesale deal, I would like for you to add just the 100 block of the property. If you own the property, you can put the exact address in there. And the reason why is you don't want anybody to go behind you and steal that property or try to steal that property from you unless they're contacting you and you're able to talk to the people and so on and so on. So that's why we generally put the 100 block of where the property is. And then last but not least, in this same section, we're going to add a brief description of the property. For example, right here we got your next deal is right here. So you want to add a positive statement, let people know that this is a property that they're going to want to buy. Large end of group row house in the hot Parkville area or Forest Park area. You want to put in there the actual subdivision or the area in which the actual property is at. Great homeowners neighborhood. That's another great statement that is basically telling the people why they want to buy this property. Property features hardwood flooring, new roof, parking pad, large bedrooms. You want to really accentuate all the actual aspects of that property. And that's what you want to have in the first section that we call the appetizer section. Now, in the next section, we have what we call the entree. And just like any meal, your entree consists of all the meat. And in this section, we're going to have what we call the actual property details. For example, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet, built in 1930. And then you want to follow it up with a nice call to action with the price or best offer. Then you want to also add in this section the fact that the people can call you to get details or they can text you for more information. Now, as far as the pictures goes in this section, I'll either have 1 picture or up to 3 pictures followed by a link that tell people how they can see all the pictures that I have for the property. So I'm only including 2 or 3 pictures of the property on this one section, but then I also include a link of the whole interior of the property and so on. Now, we also include in this section recent nearby sales. For example, if I possibly have it, I want to have at least 2 to 3 comps. This one we have 4. And we want to tell people exactly where the actual comps are, what the size of the actual property, and what was the comps, as far as what the comps actual price were. And we want to give those people those information. This helps sell the actual deal as a great deal. And then next you have your final buy, or should I say call to action, entree section in this property. You talk about all buyers must provide proof of funds, close with our title company, earnest money deposit, $2,000 required. Now, you want them to have proof of funds so that you make sure you're not wasting your time dealing with people who don't have the capability of buying this property or other wholesalers who are trying to wholesale the property. Now, you want to close with your title company because you have control of that closing process. Now, this isn't a steadfast rule. Depending on the deal itself, sometimes I'll let the buyer use their own title company, but most of the time I'm going to have them close with my title company. And then the earnest money deposit is non-negotiable. Now, it can be as low as $500, as high as $5,000. It depends on how good the deal. On average, it's going to be somewhere between $1,000 to $2,500 as an earnest money deposit. And we also usually make that as far as non-refundable. And last but not least is the final section in your 3-course meal. We call this the dessert section. And the dessert gives you all the nitty gritty, all the stuff that makes the deal a good deal. And what I mean by that is you can have all the information is provided as a courtesy. I urge you to do your own due diligence regarding value, estimating repairs, comps. The property is being sold as is. This is the down and dirty information in this section. We also put in here, Tucky by Lucky Houses LLC is a purchase contract owner with interest in the property. This is letting the people know that we have an interest in the property because we have it under contract. And then the next statement tells them how we may be willing to close this property. Transfer will occur through assignment of contract, transfer newly created LLC, or any other means necessary to provide free and clear title unless otherwise stated. This is letting the actual buyer know that we may just assign the contract to them. We may have them take over a new LLC that we're going to create, or we may have a different way in which they may have to compensate us for this deal. Now, third-party marketing of this or any of our properties is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Chucky Buy Lucky Houses LLC. Doing so will result in the wrath of the mad scientist. Simply put, don't do it. So we're letting people know that you can't wholesale our wholesale deal. This is a deal that you must close on if you're the investor, if you're trying to buy this house. If you are a wholesaler and you want to try to wholesale this deal, you can't do it without our consent. And last but not least, we're letting the people know if they want it to be added to our buyers list, they can click on the link or they can give us a call. So this has all the elements of the perfect deal flyer. The only thing I would add is in the actual entree section, if this property was a rental, I would also include here what the actual rents in the neighborhood are going for and so on. But besides that, this is all you guys need as far as the anatomy of the perfect wholesale flyer. Now, if you want to get an actual PDF of my perfect wholesale anatomy flyer, please in the comment section just say, hey, Mad Scientist, give me that flyer. Mad Scientist, give me that flyer and I'll send you the PDF. Charles Blair signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.